viewers, welcome. My friends, I felt the need to make a video about my life after anxiety today because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are going through a lot of different misconceptions about what my life and other people's lives are post trauma or post anxiety, whatever it is. I need you guys to understand one thing first of all, that just because anxiety is in the back burner of somebody's life, it's something that has happened in their past and they are less sensitized to internal conflicts or external stimuli, doesn't mean that they are this programmed cyborg that can now go about their lives in a very natural and easy way. We must understand that there is continued consciousness, continued self-awareness after anxiety. Dennis, you look a little tired. That's because sometimes I am tired. Dennis, you look a little worried. That's because sometimes I do worry. And I need to make sure you understand the reality of the situation here, because everybody's shooting for the finish line. Everybody's shooting for anxiety recovery and feeling better. You know, when I work with people, a lot of times I ask them, what do you want? They say, I want happiness. I want to feel like anxiety is behind me. Well, just because anxiety is behind you doesn't mean that you're not going to be faced with continued challenges, sometimes even highly threatening challenges. So we have to understand that Dennis is not a programmed cyborg, okay? And as well, I'm not perfect in many ways. I'm not perfect. You know, people look at me and they go on the Instagram and the Facebook and the podcasting and they say, man, that guy's just perfect. Well, I'm far from perfect. And I like it that way. I don't like being seen as someone who is perfect. A perfect nutrition, perfect exercise routines, perfect habits. You know, you'll find me experimenting a lot with different things, different teas, different exercises, different habits, different nutrition, different diets, if you want to call them diets. So you'll see me being very much curious about what sort of things make my mind and my body react in certain ways. I want you all to understand as well that you're not alone. Okay, you're far from alone on this journey, because everyone on this planet has gone through emotional trauma in their lives. During my days being sensitized through anxiety, I thought that I was the only one with the absolute worst story there possibly was about my childhood. Little did I realize that so many people have gone through similar, if not worse, experiences than I have in my life. So I need you to understand that the severity and the length of keeping that emotionally traumatic experience within the mind-body differs between people. But everybody has gone through trauma, not only you. You're not the only one that's trying to reperceive and reorganize those traumas, to change the perspective over them, which is something I did many times. I had to take myself out of first person perspective over the trauma and put myself in second person perspective, meaning seeing it through dad's or mom's eyes. And then I also had to go into third person perspective, meaning an outsider, from an outsider's viewpoint. What did this experience look like? What did I miss from those experiences that caused such a deep sensitivity within me? These are all the processes of emotional reframing. But again, let me reiterate that you're not the only person that's gone through emotional trauma in your life. These traumas need to be reframed, reorganized so that you can become who you're meant to become, okay? The other thing about life after anxiety, that was loud. The other thing about life after anxiety is that we have to understand that the ego still wants to show up many times in a person's life. The ego many times yells while the higher self whispers. When the ego yells, it's our job, post-anxiety or during the transition, to tame the ego. The whole idea when the ego shows up is to nudge the ego, is to condition the ego, to show the ego what's right and what's wrong. What kind of reactiveness doesn't need to be in play anymore? And this is where we start to understand the magic area between curiosity and reactiveness. When we become curious over something internal, such as a sensation for health anxiety sufferers, or we become curious over what someone said in the external or something that happened, the moment of that curiosity and that thing happening and the action that we take, in between that there's a gap to teach the ego what's right and what's wrong. To take an observance position over a reactive position will create flexibility in how you see what happened. So these are all lessons, my friends, that I've learned over the years that I continue to adjust and work on in my life today. So I need you all to understand that. And if I really take a good look at what life is like now compared to before, I see a massive difference in my vocabulary. You know, when I talk to people, but also in my internal self-talk. When I talk to myself, I no longer use words such as not, don't, won't, shouldn't, because the brain doesn't fully accept, doesn't understand these negations. It moves on to the very next word in the sentence. So if I say I am not suffering from anxiety, the brain thinks I am suffering from anxiety. So my vocabulary changed, and with other people, my vocabulary changed. I very much live in a world where I protect my energy system, my energetic system. I protect myself from becoming engaged and involved in any activity, any thinking, any words, any action, any images, any interpretations that bring me back to a concerned and sensitized place. That's the challenge, is what sort of things make up your energetic system, such as thoughts, words, actions, intentions, visualization, imagination, these sorts of things. All of these things make up your energetic system. So to protect that is key. I don't remember, but I'm currently living through a time in my life where I lived through one very important motto, and that motto is, I don't have the luxury of entertaining even one negative thought. That's it. That really is my motto for life. I've taken that, I've worked on it, I've perfected it, and I no longer have to consciously try so hard because I've conditioned myself in that way. So my friends, I wanted to make a video today to show you that you're not perfect, I'm not perfect. It's okay to feel sad, bad, angry, anxious, worryful from time to time. Please don't beat yourself up over that, because it just adds to the I ams. The I ams. The I am this person. I am going to be stuck forever. And let me tell you something. What's going on in your life right now are things that are the components of your energetic makeup, and those are things that you can change, because everything that you're doing right now, you are doing in a way that's causing you to be more anxious. It's not who you are, it's what you're doing. I love you so much. You are more than anxiety. If you have any questions on the End the Anxiety program, head on over to this website right here. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for all the notifications, my friends. I'll see you very, very soon.